Chat, here we go. We got Joreuz versus Juicy today. A matchup of two very strong 1v1ers. One of which you have assuredly seen if you've been watching the 1v1 scene, and that is Joreuz, who spent time as the best 1v1er in the world for a very long amount of time. Nice zap dash from Juicy. It's debatable whether or not he's still up there in the argument for the best. He's had a couple results that probably move a few players over him, but he is never far outside of the top 5 or 10. Today he's going to be playing against Juicy, somebody who on the leaderboard, the ranked leaderboard, is actually rated slightly higher, I think, 4 points higher. 1600 for Joreuz and 1604 for Juicy. And Juicy's most recent performances have been in the Fear Fest finale, I believe he was in, right? It's my own tournament. I can barely remember now. But I know he was definitely in the World Cup. He was in the World Cup that Johnny ran, and he played well for France. I think that's where probably the most people got to see him in action. He also had a recent show match against Joreuz, which was a very mechanical show match between the two of them. Almost became like a gentleman's agreement to make it freestyle. I don't know if he's going to get the same gentleman's agreement today from Joreuz. He is going to score first, but Joreuz able to strike right back, falling on top of that corner boost and slamming Juicy down in the process. So chat today heavily favored Joreuz, I believe, in the prediction. It's probably about time to end the prediction. And by end the prediction, I mean end the submissions, which looks like somebody already has. Yeah, 60-40. 60-40 for Joreuz. And you know what? I think chat actually probably landed on a pretty reasonable end result. Oh my goodness, that pinch from Juicy. So we'll see. We'll see if Joreuz can hold it down today. And that is an impressive shot as he takes to the sky and is able to get a nice reset right around the midfield and then flipping inside to the right side of the ball, using that underside of his car to tap it past, or it really was more than nose, but you know what I mean, using the later part of the flip in order to get that direction right behind Juicy. Juicy, interesting defense here on the wall to air dribble. Wasn't able to get boost, but was able to just get a bad first touch. He basically went and took the bad first touch for Joreuz, and then that bought him time to go back to net. That's a great spawn for Juicy. Able to grab 100 boost, but he actually used up all 50 and is just floundering a bit in net. He didn't get completely punished for it. In fact, apparently, he knew exactly what he was doing, and that was convincing Joreuz to try and punish him for his messed up movement in the corner, and instead, he's able to counterattack off the missed shot. Another show match for today. We'll have to see. I think I've been in talks with a few people that might be able to play afterwards. But if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. I'll let you guys know. Joreuz, wall to air dribble. Very soft first touch. He wants to keep the ball low, but he still ends up popping it over the crossbar. Bumps Juicy in the process, though, so he stays in control of the possession. And able to steal this back corner boost means it'll end for him. But how he chooses to defend in this position will be interesting. He actually shadowed hard, and Juicy played right into it by slamming the ball immediately. A lot of players will like to turn in and challenge, and they might get punished by a long shot like that, but Joreuz was not doing that. He was setting up at midfield, and the easiest thing for him to handle was going to be that ground long shot that Juicy went for. Juicy not able to steal his own corner boost, or not able to grab it. He was trying to set up off the wall, grab his boost, and then play from there, and he really got nothing that he was hoping for. Got his boost stolen, and the setup was not for him. It was for Joreuz, and guaranteed his lead. But a nice kickoff possession held by Juicy as he rolls slowly down the center of the field. Do we have the drops enabled tag still on for the stream? It's technically true that the drops enabled tag I have is on, but I don't think drops are on, right? Not unless the RLCS stuff is going on, so might make sense to remove it so people aren't just asking about it all the time. No, it's not on. Okay, so people they're just praying. Hey, I love a good, hopeful person who's just wishing that they could get drops. By the way, today is the start of the Black History Month on the Rocket League. I mean, it's Black History Month, period. It's not just Rocket League's Black History Month. But did you guys see the decal that they put out for Black History Month? At least the first one that they did. I don't know if they're going to be doing more. It seems like a really fire decal. It seems like it could be like meta. I know it's weird to say a decal's meta because no one actually, they don't actually affect your car at all. But I feel like it's good enough that I could see it showing up and being used a lot, like in pro lobbies, but maybe I'm crazy. Yo, Ryan Lacey, thank you for the tier 1 for 55 months. You are after Swirl. Swirl's beat you this time around. Juicy has gone for a couple different juicy shots, and they have resulted in some goals for Joreuz. I think we as a collective don't really want Juicy to stop looking for them because they are exciting to see, but he is going to have to be much safer on the setups if he wants to be effective with them going forward. That time getting the reset directly underneath the ball, not protecting it in any way, therefore making it possible for Joreuz to steal and clear all in one fell swoop. If you do a good job of getting your resets behind the ball, you can get away with protecting it from early challenges while setting up your play, which of course is very easy for us to say and a lot harder for Juicy to actually do in practice. Delayed flick is going to have to be top right and with about 5 times as much strength. Joreuz, who was shadowed, was prepared to make the save. He's not able to turn anything out of his air dribble. Juicy, the freestyle musty, get back to the ball. It's going to have to be a great 50, and it's actually a good enough one that he should be able to score. No, Joreuz makes it back. Great recovery from Joreuz. Juicy fell a little bit in front of the ball after that soft musty, but he made it work out and was so close to getting a goal. Joreuz full field dribble, ground shot. Juicy is there as he had retreated all the way back to the back corner, and he's stealing the midfield boost, which should guarantee that Joreuz backs off. The only problem is that the ball is in way too good of a position for Joreuz. The pogo, even though it doesn't go cleanly over the top of Joreuz, it does create a much better 50 than the alternative would have been. He was almost able to follow it up. And now Joreuz diving with 10 seconds left to go. Didn't get a great touch on this. Juicy might have a long shot. He's being really safe. Oh, he definitely has a long shot. I thought for sure that Joreuz was going to be able to like make some kind of play on this, but he just recovered as slowly as possible, clipping off of the post as soon as he landed. Basically guaranteed that he fell off. Sorry, I'm getting confused by so many people saying drops in chat. Just we don't have drops on. Why does everyone think we have drops on? I'm so confused. Anyways, overtime. Juicy and Joreuz. Juicy gonna fake the kickoff. So many people want drops. Joreuz does not want to come into the corner with Juicy, so he's waiting for Juicy to start his dribble. Straight down to the center of the field. The Juicy flicks have been weak, and so I don't blame Joreuz for believing in himself to be able to make the save and just stay shadowing the whole way. Juicy is faster than Joreuz expected, though. And Juicy's going to win game number 1. We saw Joreuz setting up in the corner. He thought Juicy left, but Juicy, after grabbing the midfield boost, dashing quickly back into the play and was able to get the tight angle after getting the beat. So it'll be game 1 to Juicy. Game number 2. A few different people have asked about the Next Gen tournament. The Next Gen tournament happened a few weeks ago. It is being released to YouTube over time, you know, 1 video a day. So eventually all the matches you're interested in will show up on YouTube, but they have already happened in real time. Joreuz is going to win this kickoff. He's in the Octane, and he scores early to go up 1-0. He tries to bounce back from a tough overtime. Yeah, you get drops when RLCS is on, by the way, chat. Anybody who's here for drops and is fiending, Rocket League turns them on for channels when they're streaming RLCS. So if you do a day 1 stream, you get drops during that. So I did a day 1 stream, so they had them on for that. And I don't think they still have them on because RLCS is not going on. And if they do, then I'm just lucky. You just got a drop? Wait, my stream still gives you drops. I don't know about that. If it does, then sure, we could farm it. We could farm the drops, but I really don't think it does right now. Juicy is using a new decal that I haven't seen anybody use before. Which there's so many decals in the game, you'd think that's not even something of note. But as many as there are, people do stick to the same few for the most part. Juicy has also been trying to hit a couple different pogo shots. He hasn't gone for the bouncing pogo where he follows the ball, but he is trying to get outplays with it. Earlier, he did one at the midfield in an attempt to just pop it over Joreuz, and it sort of worked. This time, he did it with a shot that got saved pretty easily by Joreuz, who's now up 3-0. He's been able to completely silence Juicy's offense. Juicy winning this kickoff. Taking the ball just under ceiling height. And, oh, that might have been able to go in crossbar down. Juicy has cleaned up the finish for this, though. Although, Joreuz is still getting a pretty solid attack the other way. Not as free as the ones that Juicy was leaving before. If he's going to attack through the air, he needs to at least stand a chance at making a save like he did here. And his ground pinch is slightly off target. Juicy's already pre-jumped. We were watching from Joreuz's perspective. He hadn't even started his dribble yet. Wasn't even sure he was going to go for one. And then he turns around and Juicy's falling from the ceiling. He's been there for 3 minutes. He knew exactly what Joreuz was going to do. Juicy needs to find some kind of offense, and the flick game hasn't been it so far. This time, a soft enough flick that he's almost able to connect on a bump to make it work out, but he still didn't. So credit to Joreuz's defense. Musty bump. Hey, air dribble bump. That's not a bad way to score on somebody who has been very passive in net. Get them out of there. And he does it in style. As far as air dribble bumps go, I feel like this one is a pretty nifty one, as he throws the breezy setup before flying through the ball to bump. Joreuz, thank you for the 10 months of Tier 1. Juicy, the kickoff goal for a quick second. Wave dash kickoff for Joreuz. Actually, I was looking away at the notification. I wasn't sure if Juicy also went wave dash because he did heavily win the race to the side wall. Juicy able to bump Joreuz and turn this in for a goal. For a second, it looked like he was over-prioritizing grabbing boost, but he makes it all worthwhile by slamming into Joreuz, pushing him into the orange half, and then I really like these dashes from Juicy. The landing dash that we'll have to end up seeing if it comes called the zap dash. I mean, I think it'll probably, in the long term, be called something like a landing dash, but either way, Juicy's is clean, whatever you call it. Nice counterattack. Man, this game just broke wide open for Juicy, who's having such a tough time. Joreuz was giving him nothing before. A few kickoffs go his way has been the real key. But right there, Joreuz, a weak shot attempt. And Joreuz noticing that the kickoffs are what was going Juicy's way. He's going to half flip on this one. But Juicy reads it. I think the first time that we've seen that fake, which is credit to Juicy, who's going for a strong pinch. He has gotten a lot of power on both of his pinch attempts. Just hasn't been able to get the angle. Joreuz dribble needs to reset to bring the ball back on target, as the first touch was set up far wide of the net. He's doing a good job of playing keep away right now in order to keep this possession alive. Air dribble, nice shot. Able to delay the shot in order to place it perfectly top left and come with a bit of extra power as well. You see Juicy adjusting as Joreuz sets up his air roll, turning himself slightly away from where he needed to be. Joreuz not able to get this set up, and most importantly, not able to protect the ball either, but he does make it back in time. Juicy did not path over that corner boost in order to steal it from him. Juicy's pre-jumps have been wild. Is he going to get a double reset? He does, but it's not enough to get over Joreuz. Joreuz is able to just stay shadowed and clear the shot when it comes. So a minute left to go for Juicy and Joreuz. Right now, the ball in Juicy's half, but Joreuz having to struggle to try and steal possession away from the Frenchman. And Juicy called the bluff, knew that Joreuz was not likely to fully challenge, and so got to stay grounded and back Joreuz off the ball. But Joreuz makes a quick save, and he's off the ceiling. Back the other way, he goes low after threatening the flick. Juicy recovering with very little. Grabs the 100 at the midfield and prepped to stop what would have been a fairly strong flick. That's not what Joreuz went for. Juicy, is he going to be able to counter this? He is. Joreuz has had a couple different shots this game that haven't gone his way, but I want to look at Juicy's positioning behind the ball. That's kind of hard. We have to go back and look at it. Maybe Juicy faked in a challenge, and Joreuz was rushing to the ball as a way to beat Juicy to it and just tap the ball over him, which is why the ball ends up being so weak. Whereas if Juicy fakes and comes back, convincing Joreuz to take that weak touch could have been the reason why he was able to get such a sweet counterattack, because I don't think Joreuz, under normal circumstances, is just tapping the ball to Juicy like that. So it is a tie game. Joreuz with a chance to take the late lead. Juicy, the challenge, the pinch. It's directly on target. Wait, it's off. Off the crossbar and out. Fortunate for Joreuz after a really tough result for that pinch deep in the orange half, but it will be overtime for game number 2. Juicy winning this standard kickoff, both of them going standard. And he'll be looking like he wants to bait Joreuz in a bit deeper out of net. Air dribble set up now. Reset. 50. Joreuz is able to keep it out. It was actually a very, I say awkward finish to that shot by Juicy, but it works out that it's awkward because it means it's hard to predict, yet still Joreuz was able to cover it. Juicy backing off, letting Joreuz shoot on net and play the counter, which has worked for him multiple times this game. He is delaying this dribble. The flick comes late, and he hits the crossbar, which is probably the best result he's had all day. Normally his flicks have been just very weak and easy for Joreuz to handle. And he's going to get this angle. Joreuz again. This is how the last game ended. Not expecting Juicy to be able to win the race to the ball. Joreuz just doesn't have an angle either. He's just slightly on the wrong side to jump out and make a play, but maybe he could have gotten in the way of Juicy's shot or something. The thing is, players on defense in ones, they're going to be so tentative to jump. Jumping is very often the last thing that you do before getting scored on as you fly away. So Joreuz was trying to hold on to that. Didn't work out for him. Juicy up 2-0 in the best of 5. Joreuz has brought out the one card that I have seen ones players bring out the most when they need a comeback, and that is the Carmine Corp Fennec. Specifically, the white decal, which I guess is the away decal, I'm pretty sure. Will it be enough to get the edge over Juicy? It's been a couple of close games so far. He doesn't need a lot more to get the edge. Juicy waved that shot. So much power. Joreuz is ready for it. We were watching from Joreuz's perspective. And as soon as Juicy single jumps, it's clear that he's going for this wave dash shot. And Joreuz just thought he was prepped for it. It came out so much stronger than he could account for. By the way, Residual, thank you for the Prime. For 2 months, he said, love the content, man. And I think I missed it towards the end of that last game. So thank you for joining the Prime until full-time movements. We greatly appreciate you for that. And Joreuz is going to gift one for free. Now, this is what Juicy was doing earlier in the series as well. Trying to get a risky aerial play that is resulting in freebies. Juicy gave over a few of those. Yeah, he still managed to win those games. Joreuz, I don't know if he's going to be able to get away with them himself. But you never know. Juicy might just give the ball right back, and I think this is just a missed control. Sometimes mistakes like this have to do with how the defender is playing, but I think Juicy was just trying to set up something quick and control it off the ceiling, and he outplayed himself by tapping the ball away. Joreuz missed double reset, but gets just enough on it. They called that a save. What? I don't know how they called that a save. Apparently that pinch was going to be on target. Counterattack for Joreuz. ties the game. I'm going to go back and watch this attempt from Juicy. Just another one of those air dribbles he wasn't really fully able to protect. Nice to be nice. Thank you for the Prime for 10 months. Continuing the Prime till full-time movement. Joreuz able to clean up this touch with ease. Juicy actually able to get the midfield boost and make a challenge on the ball. You see that use of the additional jump to push himself back down to the ground. It's something that somebody asked about recently. I don't know if it was Karma or it was some player was wondering how useful it could be. I think a fairly skilled player, and I'd say it's very, very useful to be able to recognize when to use your second jump upside down to push yourself back to the ground. You'll see these top players doing it all the time as a way to recover from a jump that they no longer want to use. You know, they jumped, they want to come back down. This is a great challenge from Joreuz. So I think it is something that's probably not that hard to learn either. I've never practiced it myself, but I'm also trash at the game. But I'm sure it's not too hard to add to your arsenal. Juicy not able to find the tight angle shot that he was going for on that far post. Joreuz was able to cover it. Now a great 50. Wave dashing into the 100 boost in the process of rushing to the double before Juicy could get back. Juicy flipping into the challenge is the reason why he can't make it back. If he tried to stay grounded, if he didn't try and power through the 50 and just kind of let Joreuz steal it over, which I think the 50 would have been very similar because the flip came late and he might have been able to recover. Joreuz soft shot off the air dribble. Could not get back to this one before Juicy stopped him, but he had the follow-up. Joreuz only has to use 30 or so of his 85 boost to make that high touch, and so he is going to be primed for the recovery and follow-up when Juicy was starved out. Big kick out from Juicy. Joreuz chips directly on net. He's going to try and make Juicy save high again. Juicy could never get to it. This is not often an effective way to counter. A lot of the times when you get the read on the fake kickoff and you chip shot, the defender is able to control it and end up countering it on you. But this time, Joreuz placed it so well, both touches, that Juicy's kind of forced to sit on the ground and watch. Joreuz taps it over the top of him. Juicy stealing this setup from Joreuz. Joreuz makes it back. The ball is not bouncing in. So he did enough. Joreuz with 0 boost. Flicks right away. Fortunate for him, as he almost was able to outplay Juicy because he dove right as he collected the ball. Juicy first touch resets. Doesn't go exactly as he wanted in order to bring the ball back in play. Joreuz had a chance for a 7th goal there, but his setup touch is a bit too strong. Cut off his angle. After the demo, can he get the 50? He cannot. Tries to bump again, but it should just be Juicy in control. He's got a minute to get 4 goals. Not impossible. His flick game hasn't been there, so I like this fake, but it just went a bit wide. Joreuz is feeling comfortable when Juicy goes to those flicks, so he's not likely to, prep for the fake because he's just been able to handle him so easily. Juicy just about snuck past him, but all this time that's being wasted in the process of trying to find this goal. Even if he does eventually find it, it's going to be too little too late, and Joreuz is able to clear to the orange half, and you can see he's in no rush to get a 7th goal. I think he knows that that defensive stand ended this game and prevented the sweep for Juicy. Another fake. This time, the wave dash away from the ball is a nifty setup. Just want to watch it from Joreuz's perspective. RL Geeter Thank you for the Prime. Joining the Prime to full-time movement. These two guys just letting the clock tick out as we head to game 4. Joreuz is able to clean it up and win the first game by multiple goals. Game 4. Joreuz will stick with the Octane, and Juicy, who's been playing well in his Fennec, makes no changes as well. Joreuz pre-jumped by Juicy, so he goes to the ceiling in an attempt to get it over the top and then play the double. But Juicy covers that as well. Credit to him. I think we're going to see a lot of fake flicks from Juicy, as he has saw little to no success with the real flicks. So unless he thinks that he knows how to adjust his flicks to get a bit more power, make them a bit more effective, almost just makes sense to fake them from here on out, as the end result is much more likely to be controlled by him. Even if Joreuz starts to read the fake flicks, I think his possession is much more likely to extend as opposed to sending a soft one that ends it. Although here, he's able to at least push Joreuz into net with the initial flick, giving himself a chance at a second opportunity, but nothing comes of it. Joreuz is able to cover it. Juicy all the way from the back corner. Joreuz waiting for the ball to come to the ground, and Juicy's tried to sneak some pogos out a couple different times. The reason why those can work, although Joreuz has done a good job stopping them, is because players are expecting a landing shot, a landing wave dash shot potentially, that comes off the bounce. And if you try and cover that, if you go low enough to cover that, the surprise pogo can result in the ball popping over the top of that low challenge. And you can see Juicy doesn't telegraph it. He waits right until he hits the ground to point his nose forward so that it looks like he's going for the classic wave dash shot that Joreuz could prep for, and then last second switch the pogo and see if he could pop it over him. And it hasn't worked yet. It hasn't worked fully yet. We saw it work one time to get past Joreuz, but he didn't turn it in for a goal. But I do think it's an interesting method of attack that we've actually seen for a long time. Not just when Dark started adding his, different kind of pogos off the ball bounce. I think that landing pogo shot has been used a ton. Joreuz just playing a good amount of keep away. Juicy wanted to pressure the ball high after stealing the 100 boost, so he followed Joreuz up to the ceiling, but Joreuz is too in control of the ball from that space. So he's able to quickly pop it down and get it out of Juicy's reach. Juicy failed air dribble. Joreuz is going to counter it. The reset launched the ball way too far away, and there's nothing Juicy could do with this flip to get back. Direct kickoff goal for Joreuz. It's just sliding heavily in favor of Joreuz. All the momentum on his side. Even the couple games that Juicy won, they were nail biters. Won in the final moments. The only player to really dominate so far in this series is actually Joreuz, who is down in game wins, but not if he keeps this up. He'll be sending it to game 5. Juicy chasing Joreuz down, going to try and go for the pinch. He's got such strong pinches. I've never seen somebody get 100% power every time. He's just missing on the angles, and maybe been a bit greedy as he tries to double this off the side wall. Joreuz able to stop that. And an all-in type play from Juicy. No boost left to work with after the challenge. Doesn't seem like something that he wants to do. Or more specifically, he's jumping up kind of away from the ball, redirecting on net. It's not a ones type play because you're not setting up defense in the process of all your shots. This is a great quick shot to go over the top of Joreuz. But the thing about ones versus you see a lot of players set up kind of shots in 3s and 2s, is that you are always your team's defense. So if you have to set up some nutty angle that involves you going on the wrong side of the ball just to be able to potentially get it on target, not often worth it in 1s, unless it's 100% guaranteed. Because if you miss, you are your own defense. You need to be either protecting the ball so that if somebody challenges, they don't get a freebie, or you need to make sure that your recovery is going to be very, very quick. Juicy wants to go next. 7-1 after the Brazil. He's had enough. His dribble was challenged immediately with a backflip, and it will be a 7-1 win for Joreuz. Joreuz says you weren't taking seriously the first two games, didn't you? Wait, I'm confused. What does he mean by that? Yo, Eros, thank you for gifting a sub to It's Bebo. Was he saying, like, were you not trying? Or, oh, wait, Juicy. Oh, sorry, I thought Joreuz said that. Yeah, Juicy saying that. That makes sense. I thought Joreuz said that. No, Juicy saying you didn't try the first 2 games, did you? Game number 5. If you combine the last 2 games' score lines, it's something like, what was it? Last one ended 6-3, and then this one was 7-1, but it was half the game left to go. So a nice 13-4 in favor of Joreuz the past couple games, and he's going to start off Game 5 in spectacular fashion with multiple resets before finding a way to double this in. It almost wouldn't have gone in unless Juicy tapped it out to him like he did in order to give him the angle. So Joreuz on quite the roll that Juicy is trying to stop. A roll so much so that I don't know if we'll include the time in between the matches, but Juicy said to Joreuz, you weren't trying those first 2 games, were you? And Joreuz just said he had forgotten how to play 1s, but he remembered. And now he's going to try and take Juicy down. Juicy, this would be a great shot to get him back into it. A huge dribble to ceiling reset could be the kind of spark that might revive his confidence, but he wasn't able to finish it off. Joreuz, he just own goal. He did. Pretty sure Joreuz got the last touch on this one. Have to watch it again. Oh no, Juicy. Yeah, no, that was not on target. Juicy was far wide. Joreuz tapped it on target and then couldn't catch back up to it. Juicy playing volleyball down the field as he keeps this ball bouncing. Not the best first touch off Juicy, but actually worked out to get around Joreuz. I felt like he jumped a bit late and got underneath the ball, but because he did that, it made Joreuz's pre-jump miss. So there's at least one good reason for that setup. But of course, the reason why Joreuz missed is because Juicy's setup was nowhere near the net and was not threatening, so wasn't able to hold on to possession either, which would have been the one upside had he been able to. Juicy in control of the ball again. It's hard to set up these aerial plays when you're already at the ceiling. There's no space to tap the ball up to start it. Juicy wasn't able to hold on, so now Joreuz with possession. Juicy trying to decide whether or not he can approach the challenge, and Joreuz waited just the right amount. Baited him in slowly to wanting to make a play on the ball, and then just slammed a power shot over the top of him. Two-1 for Joreuz. Soft flick off the kickoff. It is going to enable him to steal corner boost. He's using actually a ton of it in the process of getting back to the ball to tap it, which I thought was interesting because he had such a big advantage over Juicy, and I felt like using all that boost just to get a wall touch is just giving away that advantage. Nice flick. Wow. To keep that over the top of Juicy, but not over the top of the crossbar, takes a lot of precision. And he placed it perfectly. Yeah, like I said, I am now watching a brother's dog as well as having recently adopted another dog that likes to bark. So the end result is a bunch of dogs barking for what feels like no reason. But hey, who doesn't love a good ambiance dog barking. Imagine the dog is in the crowd. Juicy with a kickoff goal. Dr. Gnome with a $5 donation says meow. Apparently making his stand on cats versus dogs. Ooh, nice read. Joreuz recognizing how Juicy has to take this ball. Juicy trying to get a soft touch to control it and just didn't protect the ball from being hit into the net. Not a bad play at all from Joreuz. Put the defender in an awkward spot, forced them to make a tough play to gain control. Oh, the no-look! Oh! I wanted to see the no-look so bad, but Juicy got the save. The no-look doubles. I love them. Juicy did stop it. Ooh, long shot from Joreuz. Will be a fifth. He has just unlocked the prime Joreuz here against Juicy. He said he remembered how to play ones, and the proof is in how he's played the last 3 games because he has taken over. Joreuz, first touch nowhere near the net, but like we talked about with Juicy before, it might have worked out because Juicy was pre-jumping, and a setup that is unexpected could result in getting the defender to miss. Juicy just cannot get anything through. Joreuz's defense has been next level and has guaranteed that Juicy stays out of this game. I think if Juicy sees even a couple of those go through, have Joreuz make one slight mistake on defense, then he might spark his confidence and get going again. But right now, Joreuz has pretty much only let Juicy have stuff that he's given away by being slightly over-aggressive. We saw that one shot that Joreuz actually straight up owned goal. Was after diving in very deep. This demo will result in a double. The no-look! No! Juicy, another save! He is not going to let Joreuz clip on him with a no-look. Pre-jump from Juicy. Great interception here. And it's not impossible for him to come back. He just needs something on offense, and Joreuz won't let him. This pinch is off target. But it actually bounces so strong that Joreuz was almost able to protect it still. Positioning from Joreuz results in the flick being sent too high from Juicy. It's been a master class from the Dutchman, but he is going to leave the net open for a third goal to make it possible. 27 seconds for Juicy to find some kickoff magic. What will he go to when he needs a win? Just a standard kickoff. Trying to force the ball right, which he did. Joreuz, who has no boost, will just launch the ball to the back wall. That will be the end of his possession. Can Juicy get enough speed that Joreuz can't save it? He can! So Joreuz, just a bit too much on this play. He didn't want to leave the ball completely. He didn't want to give Joreuz free possession, so he tried to just slam a shot. If he kept it on target and forced a save out of Juicy, that'd have been fine. But the fact that he missed high and let Juicy take a quick counterattack off the bounce was the problem. Juicy, can he turn this last possession into a goal? Joreuz is deep on the orange half. He is underneath this ball. He can use the side wall to keep it up, but he just used up all of his boost to get there, and Joreuz should just be able to tap the ground. He's going to keep it up because who doesn't love content? But it does fall to the ground, and Joreuz gets the win in a best of 5. A good series between the two of them, though. Juicy just ended up getting snuffed out in these last 3 games, and it's a reverse sweep for Joreuz.